Hey guys, wow, today we have something new and someone very special to me on this podcast. One, it's our first interview, and it's with my sister from across the pond. She's from Switzerland. Her name is Isabelle Blum. She's been so very instrumental and sometimes the catalyst for a lot of my self-work. I call her my muse. She would argue that. She is also the creator, co-creator with myself of the agreatnewyou.com website. And that's where we offer courses and other inspirational works to help you become a great new you. Now today, since we've been talking about it, we're going to address change and how we can address change in any aspect of our lives by observing nature. I mean, we're not on this planet with nature all around us by accident. So let's see what happens. Let's begin. This is episode 12. I call it The Nature of Change. Welcome to the C Word Podcast. I'm Semaj, and I greet you in the love and the light of the Infinite Creator. Don't let the name fool you. The C, as you will find, is all about you. What we desire to do here is create a conversation around my book, The C Word, and some of the principles behind it, to lead you, the seeker, on a journey. A journey of freedom. Freedom from limiting thoughts, borrowed beliefs, and false perceptions. A journey of self-truth. If you're already on a path, then it's to help bring clarity on the journey. I've walked the path. I can help you identify the walls you've built and the ruts that you're in, and give you some tools to create a new life. I'm a hands-on healer of energy and light, teacher of my own integrative flow technique. I'm a student of the universal law of one, and a certified life coach, helping you to get clear your direction. I'm called father, husband, grandfather, Sifu, and guru. I'm on this journey with you. We are one. My desire is to live this quote, which simply says, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Let's begin. Hey everybody, this is Semaj, and welcome to the C Word Podcast. I am, just beyond excited to show you something a little different. I told you there's going to be some new things and some new advancements, but for me, this is the first interview that I've done on this podcast, and it's with someone who is so very special to me. She's been like a real catalyst for change, and you know how I feel about change. And I call her my muse, right? We met under strange circumstances, and we've been in touch, and she is like my girl across the pond, right? And I guess that's all I can really say about her. And I don't do a regular introduction because she's not one for titles, and she's not one for being defined, and she's undefinable anyway. So I'd like to introduce you guys to Isabelle Blum, and she's amazing. Say hello, Isabelle.
Hello, Semaj. Thank you for holding the space to talk with you.
man, it's like I've been holding this space for a long time. So I've just been waiting for you. And I say waiting for you kind of literally because you're journeying right now, right?
Yes, I'm purifying on many levels.
Okay.
And I'm simply don't do so much things right now.
Okay.
I do my routines that I
Mhm.
do anyway daily. So my exercises and yeah, my nature walks. And I also read a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially right now, the Celestine Prophecy series, by James
Okay.
Redfield.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the first books that kind of ignited the spark within,
Ah, ah,
that
yeah.
that there is more than we know or we are told. And
Right, right, right.
yes.
Yep, I'm familiar with that book, and the uh, the name of this episode, the title of this episode, is "The Nature of Change," and I like that, especially in the Celestine prophecies, because that's kind of where he's taken back to when he's traveling, right? Back.
Yes, he's traveling, yeah, to Peru.
Mm-hmm. And taken back to a point where he he's kind of has to slow his pace down to actually speed up. So I guess now I call you my nature girl because that's that's basically where you live, and it's so inspiring to me that and it has really taught me to take steps back and into nature. So if you were going to address change with a person and put it into nature, how do you see change moving you as you journey? How you see nature moving you as you journey through right now, doing your basic things and reading and stuff?
It's simple, as we are nature too. I just observe what is happening anyway.
Mhm.
So right now here in Switzerland, it is late spring, kind of beginning of summer.
Okay.
So the light is changing all the time. For example, when I stand up in the morning, I see the sun rising, and in my garden, there are a lot of plants. So there is a lot of shadow and light play. So this is always changing, and reminds me also that within myself, there is light and shadow always in play. And also due to my studies of Taoist exercises and Taoist philosophy, like this yin and yang, thing,
Mm-hmm.
these two opposite, how shall I call them, forces or energies that
Right.
are in constant movement and change all the time.
Mm.
So yes, the light is something that is very special to me, light and shadow. Also the animals that are moving all the time and changing their place or changing their behavior, or especially the birds changing their song patterns.
Right.
And also when I observe the sky and the clouds are moving, or just when I walk along a river and I listen to the sound and it changes. Yeah, when you are in nature, you are immersed in change. So you
Yes.
can't avoid it.
Right.
And it's something so natural, but due to our lifestyle and our education, we are taught, or we think that everything has to stay the same all the time. So we have a certain kind of setting we're accustomed to, and we do everything. So some people really do everything to just keep this setting, you know, always the same, because they're kind of accustomed to it, and it's comfortable, and they know it, so they know what to do. But that is kind of unnatural.
Yeah, that's very unnatural.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was talking about a couple of episodes back when I was talking about, you know, being, like you said, comfortable in where you are, but it not serving you. You know, when people are stuck in a pattern of being, and they know in their mind that something needs to change. And, you know, the way here in the Midwest, in the United States, where I am, we are also in that transition from winter into spring and eventually summer. You know, our temperatures right now are crazy, you know, going from 70 one day and back to 35 the next. But that's all part of that transition. And I don't know, for me, when I take a step back from self and put myself in my nature, what I see is that everything is cyclic. Everything is supposed to change, you know. So if you're resisting the change, it can make things difficult for you trying to fight those things. But as you watch nature, even when the trees are bare, and even when the ground is brown and either covered with snow or something else, you know that it's only for a season. You know that it's only temporary, and that there's going to be bloom. There's going to be a growth, you know. And, you know, I like to express the growth process of ourselves by, like you said, observing nature. You know, it's an amazing process to me.
Yes, and it's so obvious. And all you need to do is observe.
Right.
Observe, look, smell, and hear and touch, and you can use all your senses. Obviously all you need to do is just open yourself up and let it in. And for some people this is kind of strange, because they live maybe in a very urban area and don't have access to so much nature. But I guess also in the most urban area you find a little park or a tree or a shrub or the sky, or something that is natural. You certainly find something.
You've got to find. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And just go to this natural scenery and get in touch, observe and let it flow into you.
Right.
And one thing also, we are trained to have many expectations or certain outcomes that we want to have
Right.
And that is also something, when you immerse yourself in nature, you never really know what is happening. so many things can happen.
Right.
And it also trains you to be in this kind of open state, receptive state.
Mm-hmm.
Just in this state of to be, in this
Right.
beingness.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Aliveness, maybe also.
Exactly. And a lot of people can, I guess, disregard what nature really is, in the sense that, like people who are like live in the city, you know, and pet owners will understand this, because nature, when some people hear nature, they think I have to be in the woods, right?
Yes.
And it's like, man,
or in the wilderness.
Right. And it's like, no, nature goes on all around you. And I like the way you say, looking at a shrub, or sitting in your city park, but watch the birds, and as your life is, as you're contemplating your own life, because what I'm trying to do is get people to see, that, like, even your pets are nature. They are more than just that dog or cat or whatever kind of animal you have walking around the city with you, or living in your home. These animals, um, they are nature, and they have a natural way of being. When you see them interacting with each other, if you can apply some of that simplicity of being, it'll make you sit down and in retrospect sometime go, how complicated am I making things? you know um and the aspect, just studies have shown that being in nature, which can include like a beach, if you live near the ocean, oh my God, go there. you know
Oh yes, you're blessed when you live near the ocean.
I
You're
know.
really blessed. Yeah.
You've got all of creation open up to you. So go to the beach. If you're in Indiana, we got plenty of woods, but we have beaches here too. Go to a dog park and don't even watch your dog. Let your dog go do dog, and you just sit there and enjoy the sounds. Unplug. That's another thing that really keeps us from enjoying everything around us. When we've got earbuds in, listening to whatever we're listening to on your phone, except if you're listening to this podcast, it's okay. But
one exception.
one exception to that. But if but really, if you just staying plugged into your electronics, I mean, even, I hunt, right? And one of my, when you do stuff like that, one of my biggest pleasures is being up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watching the sunrise. And to me, it feels like the earth takes a breath, right at sunrise. And it changes from nighttime creatures to daytime creatures, and the nighttime things go hide away, and then the birds come out. But that's an experience that you have to go and make. And for me, you have to correlate that with, you really have to be intentional about what you're doing in your life, whether it's being in nature or making the decision on what you're going to do next with work or anything else. You have to take time and be intentional with yourself to know what you want to experience. And I guess it becomes a choice. So now you live near the wilderness where you live?
No, I wouldn't call it wilderness.
Okay.
It's very rural. It's on the countryside.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So you have to go get your nature too, right?
Yes. Yeah. You know, nature is a kind of technical term. So
Okay.
it it is a term that describes something, but
Mhm.
as with some words, there is kind of this what is really behind it is kind of missing. So when you really want to experience it, go outdoors.
Right.
And when you can't do that, I mean, when you, for example, when you live in Dubai or really some crazy cities where it's really not much nature around, you have your breath, for example. And
Okay.
when we also talk about change and accepting change, when you really observe your breath, when you tune into your breath, you
Mm-hmm.
get this kind of rhythm of change.
Mm-hmm.
You otherwise you die when you hold your breath.
Right. Right.
Right?
Right.
It
Right.
is really this simple. So you said we make things complicated, and that's what we really do. We make up a lot of stories in our minds, and we have our behavior patterns and reaction patterns and all this kind of stuff. But when you really let go of many things, we have this kind of alertness.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, you can train that when you tune into your breath, because
Mm-hmm.
then you get this kind of sense, oh, now I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And you get also aware of this change, of the in
Mm-hmm.
breath and out breath. So this kind of space in between. And the more you do that, the more you realize, oh, there's always something changing within me,
Mm-hmm.
breathing in, breathing out, and then the space in between. And then you can go deeper, and you realize suddenly, oh, there is really subtle changes within my body.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I feel something in my arm, or I feel something in my leg or in my back or wherever.
Right.
And the more you train that, the more you tune into your body. And this is really something very simple to do.
Mm-hmm. Because our body
you
is
you you
nature,
just
right?
you just need to do it. And yeah, I mean, you are nature. You are made of the same components as a tree, or as a bird, or as earth.
Right.
So yeah, nature is just a term, a descriptive term,
Right.
but
Right.
there's really more behind it. And all you need to do is open up and dive in and
Mm-hmm.
experience. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get this kind of um, for example, this tuning into your body, and you experience this constant change going on, then you can even go beyond and observe your thoughts, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then you also realize, there is also constant change going on.
Right. Right.
But we just get so stiff. We just make ourselves so stiff. and
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the more you do these simple exercises, the more you realize, wow, why am I so stiff? Or why am I not relaxed?
Right.
What is really what is the root of all this?
Right.
And I guess then a lot of people really come to this basic foundational aspects of life. So what do I really need? who do I really am, and what is really essential for my life.
Right.
And then you realize, as you said, you make yourself the complications you want to avoid.
Right.
So it is you, and not somebody else.
Right.
It is really simply you.
Right.
And just begin by doing simple exercises like observing your breath, and it is really something very useful and helpful.
Now, is that a meditation, or is that just a process? Do you meditate on your breathing? I mean, now you have on our page, for those listening, we have, Isabelle and I have a page, A Great New You, and I talk about it at the end of every podcast. And we actually have courses there. And one of the courses that Isabelle has there is a breathing course, right? That kind of helps.
I guess it's a Taoist breath exercise, but I'm not sure if I have uploaded it. But yeah.
Okay, maybe she does. No.
Yeah. Then I'll do it right away after the podcast.
See, changes just happen. Okay.
Yes. Meditation is a thing, because when you really study ancient wisdom traditions, there are many different forms of meditation, and it is not quite clear what meditation actually is. That there are some processes that are called meditation, but these processes kind of are different in different ancient wisdom traditions. So in some traditions, meditation means like opening up your body, let the energy flow, and then just allow the inner process to happen, and be quiet, be very quiet. And other traditions do things, during meditation. So meditation is really not something that is always the same. The same kind of thing. So but meditation is just a process of going within, I will call it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know that in one of the meditation processes that I do is you take what's called a koan, and it's a walking meditation where you kind of almost, it's like being OCD, right? But you pay attention to every breath and every step that you take. You're literally counting your steps and reflecting on each step. So as I walk around my property, I can, go within and feel my step one, and what is underfoot. And one of the biggest things, I think, one of the biggest words that go with this quote unquote nature thing is connection. And what you feel is your connection to this planet. Like you said, we're one thing. And there's, scientific proof, being barefoot in the grass, being barefoot on a beach, hugging a tree. Okay. as much as we laugh at people calling them tree huggers, being in contact with nature actually changes our physicality on the inside. It pulls things out of our bodies. And I mean, everything from positive and negative ions flowing from our body to the earth. the oxygen we get from being, the plants give off what we take in. We get oxygenated when we're in nature, and that's nothing but good for our body. So these meditations, when you're connecting with this planet, with the nature that you're in, you're actually helping your body. And when I talk about change so much, that's when you help yourself. And I think you said it when you were talking about before, is like everything comes back to us. Anything that you're trying to change in your life, and I mean any aspect of anything, requires you to not look at who is making you uncomfortable, but look at the fact that you are uncomfortable, and how do you change that for you. And everything comes down to knowing, finding out, figuring, discovering who you are. And once you start to do that, from the smallest part of you, which might be your breath, right? Taking a breath and going, oh, this is who I am. Or taking a walk and going, this feels good. And then repeating that, because the problem with our problems is that they're usually something that we just repeatedly do over and over. So repeatedly do something different, and you will repeatedly get something different. And that in itself is just, like you said, a process. And I'm amazed at what happens when I get away from everything else, and just connect with myself and with nature. It's, I don't know.
Yes, and you also get a kind of sense of this flow, this flow of life. I mean, nature is life. We are life, and when you are in nature, you immerse yourself in nature and you realize this flow, you also realize maybe that you are often very robotic. And you said it before, this kind of repetitive behavior, also repetitive patterns. For example, when we meet the person, we kind of act always the same, or when we're in certain situations, we always do the same. For example, when you go to a grocery shop, you just enter the shop, you grab your basket or whatever, and you just move around, and we do so many things so repetitive. And one thing that also connects us more also with ourselves is this kind of alertness or observation. What are you doing actually right now? When you just simple things, when you grab a glass, really grab the glass and be very attentive. What do you feel in your hand? How does the glass feel? How does your feet feel standing on the ground? How does your body feel? How does the earth feel? Where are you? Look around. Just this kind of alertness that the animals need to have. Otherwise, they're getting eaten very quickly sometimes.
Right.
And they always have this kind of alertness. They always feel or perceive. At least that's what we think, what is around them. We don't actually know really what is going on within animals.
Right.
But as we are kind of animals too,
right.
We get this idea, or we think we know what is happening within them.
Right.
But really, this when you train yourself to be really this kind of alert and alive,
Yep.
you also realize, so you're in a situation when you, for example, someone is talking to you and is using some words that are triggering you or whatever. And when you get aware of what is this person really saying to me, what is the intention, and what does this make with me, how do I feel, and why do I feel this way? Really, it needs some kind of observation of yourself. So it needs also kind of calmness. You can't do that when you're very nervous or anxious or fearful or whatever, when you're kind of tensed up. So nature also helps you to relax on a very deep level. As you said before, there are many very foundational processing happening within our bodies when we are in nature, really on a cellular level. So it really does something with you. It's not just an idea, it's really happening. So this kind of relaxed state really helps also for this self-observation, because you realize in an instant moment what is happening, and you can act differently or change something or whatever.
Absolutely. That's awesome to me, that that's how we were created, and we've gotten so far away from just being. One of my favorite verses, if you will, and it's just I don't know, what do you call it? A quote. And it's like, consider the birds, right? And it's in the Bible. And it's one of those things that really lets me know how small I am, right? In where I am in this creation process, but it also tells me how complicated I make things. It's like when the birds wake up, they just do bird, right? I mean, it's like, today I am going to fly around, feed myself, feed my family, do my thing, and just be a bird, and there's no toil and strife about it. It just does what it does, just like a grass grows and does grass, and it's not freaking out about everything, right? You never say, I won't say it, never mind. But, it's,
but we are trained, to be this way, because then we come back to this question, what are we actually? What is a man or a woman? What is that? What is a human? Because you said the bird is doing the bird thing. So what is the human thing? What is that actually?
Right.
And this sounds very esoteric for some listeners, but we are multidimensional beings. We are incredible beings, capable of incredible stuff. We are time travelers. We are. It's really incredible, and sometimes I get really sad when I see what people are doing to themselves. This when they kind of fall in this very robotic mode, and there are some forces here on Earth who wants us to bring us more in this direction, to be really robots in a sense, like this whole transhumanism movement or idea. You can go in this direction when you want, but there is like the other direction too, and that really leads to the question, what is a human? What makes us human? And there are certain laws in the universe. The law of truth. The law of truth means also truth to yourself. Speak the truth all the time. And you, as you are someone who is very how shall I say that, who knows the Bible in great detail. So I guess there is also a lot of sayings there about the truth, or saying the truth. There is also the law of connection, and there are so many natural laws out there. But also, I mean, the first is connected to yourself, and when we speak about multidimensional beings and also this kind of energetic beings, what is the seed or the center? It is the heart. And when you only believe in science, for example, you can go to the Heart Math Institute, and they are doing really great studies. What is the heart actually doing? What is the brain doing? How is the interaction of the heart and the brain? And they have shown so many incredible things. For example, that the electromagnetic field of the heart is much bigger than the one of the brain, for example. So the heart is really this kind of portal we can tap into. And the heart is also very much connected to this word love is so heavy. But yeah, it is. I mean, it is, for some people, it is the seat of love, the heart.
Right.
So yeah, what are we actually? What is this human thing that that we are here on earth and sharing and experiencing? And yeah, we need to come back to this kind of naturalness when we speak about nature and change. And yeah, the bird is doing the bird thing, and what does the human thing? What does the human thing? What is the human thing? Yeah.
You know, and for me, you know, and it goes beyond, it goes way beyond just, you know, biblical teaching, right? And you know, because you know me, but it's like you know, to me, we are expressions of our infinite creator, right? And we are the infinite creator expressing and experiencing itself. And this heart thing that we are, you know, that's where we come from. You know, it's like we are a gajillion miles apart, you and I, but I feel your heart even when I'm not talking to you, you know. and when, and people out there listening, you know, at some point in your life, you know, you have felt another human being that you care about, right, without being present, right? So we're not talking, you know, woo-woo out of space stuff. We're talking about, and I said it before, connection and who we are, you know. So as the podcast goes, you know, it is about the C word. And one of those C words is change. And another one of those C words is choice, you know, and you choose to change. How about that for a statement, right? Changes that you want to make in your life, you choose to make them and get busy. Start changing, start doing something different, start experiencing, start being something different, a little bit at a time, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So Isabelle, let me see. What lesson would you like to give everybody out there about another C word, connection, whether it's with nature or self?
As you said, I'm not the kind of label woman, so I'm also not here to give lessons or teachings.
Right.
For me, this kind of time is over of teachings and lessons, and
okay,
all I can do is share
right.
my experiences.
Okay.
So again, ask me the question, then I can give you an answer.
What would you like to share with us about connecting with nature? If there was one thing that anybody could do, say breathing, right? How do you go about just feeling your breath? Not instructional.
Yeah, I mean, there are practical things you can do.
Okay.
And there are things you don't need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, yes, you can connect with your breath. That is something that you can do every day, very easily. And you can do it while sitting in the car or waiting in the line or doing some shopping or whatever. Your breath is always there. Yeah, when you die, it's not there anymore, but hopefully, yeah, you will experience your breath a little bit longer.
Right.
And when you're fortunate and when you have nature at your doorsteps, for example, a forest or a lake or the ocean or also a little park or your garden, whatever, go there, immerse yourself,
and breathe.
Open up.
Yeah.
Let it flow. Let it flow inside of you and let it flow from you.
Right.
Yeah. Let this interconnectedness happening consciously.
Right.
Let it put it this way. And yeah, really one thing is train yourself to be relaxed. There are many, many ways to do that.
Okay.
One way, for example, is to get a massage.
Yeah, what she said. or come to parade rest, right? And sit in a hammock or just sit in a bench and listen to some chimes or something like that. I understand what you're saying there. That's awesome.
Yeah, just make a break and stop and
right.
Yeah, you don't need to be busy all the time.
Yeah, isn't that important? Isn't that important though? Stopping. Isn't that really important?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Just stopping. Because I mean, we actually stopped for a moment and just took a break from all of this stuff and because that's how our connection works. We know, between Isabelle and myself, we just like, yeah, I need to take a break. Okay, let's take a break and breathe. But what happens is I always miss her, and so I bug her when she's in the middle of breathing. So, but no, I don't. But it's like, but that's and be respectful of that for others. Sometimes we're looking at a planet, a world of people we're in this major transition. Hopefully, we're transitioning from this, what I call fear-demic lifestyle that we've been in for the past couple years. And, I realize
hundreds of years, hundreds of years.
True, yeah. When it comes to the fear. And, each person is going to express and feel that differently. And I think a really strong point for me is just this law of allowing. It's one of those universal natural laws that says everybody, every person has the ability to react any way that they choose. And the law of allowance says, I get to allow you to do that without having it be something that I have to jump into. So you have to allow each person to be themselves, and part of our nature is that we don't want people to be themselves. And so we feel we have to do something, but we don't. And so, that's, it's respecting each other.
And there is also this aspect of conscious communication. And
mm-hmm.
when you, for example, when you meet somebody and you have a talk or a chat with each other,
mm-hmm.
and you are really telling your truth,
mm-hmm.
how are you feeling? What are your motives? What are your intentions? What are you up to? How do you see the world?
Mm-hmm.
And you're really sharing your truth, then interesting things happen because the other
right.
person feels kind of safe because you share
mm-hmm.
your truth and also open up the space for the other to do
right.
the same.
Right.
And when we speak about respect, for me, this has really much to do with sharing your own truth.
Right.
And
right.
And be yourself. What do you have to lose?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing
But yourself. You
mm-hmm.
you have to lose. You can lose yourself.
Right.
Actually, your essence self, whatever that is.
Right.
And really allow the space to unfold, to meet each other.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you also don't feel bothered by anything.
Right.
Because, okay, that's up to her or up to him, know, what his truth is. There is, there is a universal truth, so to speak, but everybody has a kind of unique perspective about life.
Yep.
And when we can share that, we can also learn and realize from each other. And for me, this has also a lot to do with what a human is,
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, okay.
You're awesome.
Oh, hush. Stop. I can't. Don't allow me to be awesome. I don't want to be awesome. I'm just playing. No, that's all right. See, you made me blush. No. And you guys can't see it. So anyway, Isabelle, look, it has been just another awesome visit. And I'm glad you took the time out of your still working and journeying, moving through your things. And I know about that. And, I want to be respectful of that and honor you. But at the same time, I'm just ecstatic that you're here. And, when you come out on the other end, I'm gonna still be here because you're one of my people. And I just really adore you. I love you. You know that. So, and I said it on air. Okay. So everybody heard that. So anyway, thank you so much. And thank all you guys for listening. And when we come back, we'll have something else to do. We'll change something and move something and do something. So this is Semaj, and I leave you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. Peace, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode. I appreciate you all for listening to this podcast. It matters to me. If you'd like to go deeper on any topic, I urge you to use the links in the description of this podcast. There, you can find links to my book, The C Word. You can also find these episodes on my YouTube channel under Semaj Rramal, Man at the Top of the Mountain. Also, we would love to connect with you on a Great New You website. That's www. The letter A, G, R, the number 8, NEWYOU.com. A Great New You. There, we offer courses to help you become a great new you, and a blog to keep you connected and informed. Finally, if you feel a personal need to get help moving ahead, I've left 2 more links here for connection calls. I'll have 30-minute connections and 1-hour personal coaching connections available via phone or Zoom. All that to let you know that you don't have to seek out the answers or move forward alone. If you're getting value from this show or have feedback, feel free to reach out to me personally at semaj@agreatnewyou.com or leave us a rating here. Thanks for listening. Namaste.